addition to the memories he made in it. Flowers, brewers' hats, handwritten messages, even cans of Miller Lite are quickly piling up at an impromptu memorial for Euchre outside American Family Field.
In a showing of solidarity, even amongst rivals, Brewers, Cubs, and baseball fans alike gathering outside American Family Field, offering tokens of appreciation at the foot of the statue honoring Mr. Baseball.
He was amazing for the city of Milwaukee.
Calvin's on winter holiday from Hofstra in New York and tells WTMJ Euchre has left a lasting impact on the next generation of baseball fans.
He's an icon for sure, and he'll be sorely missed.
At American Family Field, Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
5 people are safe this morning after a fire on Milwaukee's north side that's being investigated as arson. Officials say a man set the fire overnight at the home near 18th and Keefe. The 5 people inside, between ages 4 months and 30 years old, all escaped with no injuries. The suspect has been arrested with charges pending. No barricades this time.
According to the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, Lac du Flambeau Chippewa Ojibwe tribal leaders announced on Wednesday that they would not place barricades on 4 roads placed across the reservation blocking town of Lac du Flambeau residents. The tribe hinted that it was discussing installing the road barricades in response to the town not paying easements for residents using roads on tribal lands. Tribal leaders say they remain committed to finding a solution and to meet with the town board to discuss other options. Sean Brenda, WTMJ News.
Heavy cargo can move smoothly now thanks to a yearly declaration.
Today, the DOT has declared that highways are officially frozen statewide. Why does this matter? Well, that means the frozen road law is in effect, and the seasonal weight restriction has been lifted. That means heavier loads on trucks carrying things like logs, salt, and sand for the winter maintenance can be moved easier with more confidence in the ability for the road to take the weight. Now, to be clear, we're not talking about the surface of the roads. Slippery roads are not good. We're talking about the actual road material. Debbie Loziga, WTMJ News.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:04.
So how do you underpromise and still get the job? We believe in our hearts we're going to do great work for you. We're just really careful about making unrealistic promises. At Semper Fi, we refuse to set the bar higher than we can jump. But be assured, that's the goal, to do all we can to jump as high as possible to try to exceed your expectations. We're looking to break records. That's how you win over customers, get really great referrals, and build a great business. When you're making a decision to hire an exterior remodeling company, character, integrity, and the feeling that the people you're about to hire are truly eager to show you how good they are should stand at the top of your list. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
In 1964, we were making strides towards space travel.
Mary Poppins was the #1 movie in theaters.
And the Beatles were taking America by storm.
Which was long before I was born.
Facts. 1964 is also the year it all started for Richland's Tire and Service Centers. 60 years of continuous growth and more happy customers than you can shake a stick at.
Okay, the streamers are a bit overkill. It's just us in the studio.
Well, all right. But it's important to know accomplishments like these aren't possible without a dedicated team. So hats off to them and our founder, my dad, Dick Mitchke, for understanding the importance of customer focus.
Facts. There's no 60 years of anything without you, the customer, which is why our focus will remain on you and only you for years to come.
Thank you from all of us here at Richland's Tire and Service Centers.
Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
Time for a WTMJ Sports update from the Gruber Law offices. One call, that's all sports desk. The Bucks are now 3-0 against the Magic after their 122-93 win last night at Fiserv Forum. They'll go for 3 wins in a row when they face the Raptors Friday night. And the Wisconsin's women's basketball is back in action tonight, hosting Ohio State with tip-off at 8 p.m. at the Kohl Center in Madison. Badger Sports updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. There is a crash to look out for. That's on the exit to 145 Fond du Lac Avenue from 43 South. Looks like that is in the right lane of that exit. And as far as delays goes, looks like it's just a little bit slow on 94 around the stadium interchange. Otherwise, travel times are looking normal. And time for the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies, a low of 25. Friday, mostly sunny, windy, and mild, a high of 43. On Saturday, mostly sunny, breezy, and colder, a high of 18. On Sunday, sunny, breezy, and that bitter cold sets in, a high of 4 degrees, a wind chill of 25 degrees below zero to 15 degrees below zero. Monday, still sunny, breezy, and bitter cold, a high of 0, and a wind chill of 30 below zero to 15 below zero. Right now in Madison, it's 32 degrees. In Green Bay, it's 31. In Waukesha, it's 31. And in Milwaukee, it's 33 degrees. I'm Jessica Gatso, Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 6:07.
Your need-to-know cultural snapshot of Wisconsin and beyond. This is What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx, sponsored by Visit Milwaukee. A deep dive into all things intriguing, riveting, and entertaining. Now, here's your host, Sandy Maxx.
Good evening. And it is with a heavy heart, but a whole lot of laughs, I greet you and say thanks for listening to What's on Tap, sponsored by Visit Milwaukee. Thanks for joining me tonight. I can hear it in my voice, too. I have talked and laughed about Bob Uecker all day today, and then every now and then it just kind of gets me. You know, he's been part of our lives, of our laughs for a long, long time. This morning, broadcasting legend Bob Uecker passing away at the age of 90. Next Saturday would have been his 91st birthday. And if you've been listening to WTMJ today, you've heard lots and lots of tributes from all walks of life, and you realize just how much a guy with a great sense of humor and a deep passion and knowledge of baseball really has given joy and made an impact in the world. And, you know, he is beloved from coast to coast and gives people laughter all sorts of ways, whether it's in a beer commercial or telling a story during a baseball game. Tonight in Milwaukee, we're blue for Bob. You will see buildings all around the city lit up blue. The Baird Center and Wisconsin Center District, Discovery World, the airport will be lit blue. The Hyatt Regency, Lakefront Brewery, Milwaukee Art Museum, beautiful on the lakefront there, will be lit up blue. The Mitchell Park domes, also the Pabst Theater and the Pfister and U.S. Bank Center. So as you drive around and you see those blue lights, it is the community coming together and remembering a guy we were all hoping to listen to in just a couple of weeks when spring training starts. But Bob Uecker, privately battling small cell lung cancer for the past almost 2 years. So our hearts go out to all of his family, all of his friends, and all of you, all of our fans, including me, who cared so much about him and as a treasure, as a Milwaukee treasure, and as a national treasure. So we'll spend time tonight in these 2 hours remembering Bob Uecker. You, of course, are welcome to share your emotions, your memories on the Sighting Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line 855-616-1620. That's 855-616-1620. And if you text the word Bob, text BOB to 855-616-1620, and you'll get a link to all the coverage we've done online so far and links to podcasts and conversations. So you can scroll through at your leisure. That's Bob. Text that to 855-616-1620. And I want to start with this first hour celebrating Bob Uecker because there is a project in progress right now, a documentary to Bob Uecker. Here are highlights from that conversation that we started a year ago, almost to the day. There is a documentary film in progress called Ueck, and it is my pleasure to introduce you to the co-directors of this project. Hello, Steve Farr.
Sandy.
We're going to have you lean into the microphone.
Hello, Sandy.
There you go. There's that voice we want to hear. And hello, Michael T. Volman.
Hi there.
How are you both doing?
We're doing well. Thanks for having us.
This project, what I've seen of it so far, is going to be a real way to share just the phenomenon that Bob Uecker is. Why are you making Ueck, the documentary film?
I mean, who wouldn't want to make a documentary about Bob Uecker?
Right.
Right. It's not like it was an original idea. I'm sure a lot of people have thought about doing it. I know through our production team, we've talked a lot about, just over the years, we've talked, wouldn't it be cool to make a documentary about Bob Uecker? I guess we kind of came into an opportunity. Kind of actually all happened really quick. We just, after talking about it for a long time, we actually took some initiative. Steve had some connections. Steve has directed a lot of commercials in the city, actually nationally and in Milwaukee, and he had some connections to some people that could connect us to Bob.
Connection. We had done a little project for ALS, and Bob was in it. And so I kind of had connections from having done that several months before this kind of came along.
Well, and you have to convince Bob Uecker to participate, don't you? I mean, he's this person who, as much of a public figure and magnetic personality that he is and so beloved, he's not the kind of guy who says, hey, it's all about me. Let's put the spotlight on me. So that has to be a sensitive relationship and quite a score to convince him to participate and let you follow him all last year.
Yeah, you're right about that. Well, we made sure that once we got through to Bob and he was interested, he wanted to talk, we could have done a phone call with him, but instead the four of us, two of us flew in from Milwaukee, Michael and I, and our two producers, Matt and Jeremy, came in from Los Angeles, but we flew into Scottsdale. This was a year ago. And
yeah, almost a year to
yeah,
today.
Yeah, exactly, right. We met him for lunch, and we thought maybe this would be an hour and a half, something like that. And it was 4.5 hours of Bob telling one classic story after another. I mean, where you couldn't even, there was no bathroom break. It was just one story after another. And eventually we kind of had to just say, sorry, Bob, we got to catch a flight in 45 minutes. And he's like, you guys got to get out of here. So
yeah, it was almost like we thought we were going there to convince him, but I think he had already made up his mind. He kind of had made a decision. He looked at our credentials, and I think a lot of the decisions he makes is through word of mouth and people he knows, and I guess he got a good recommendation from someone close to him, and it was it was kind of an amazing lunch. It was like, we should probably tell him that we have to catch a flight soon. But
nobody wants to stop that. No, because it's special for your audience, and he's just full of all those stories. So, congratulations for earning the project, for earning his trust, because you've spent hours in his own home, not just following him at ballparks all last season.
Correct. I mean, our hope
that's the inner sanctum. I mean, that's very special.
Right. I don't know, probably 3/4 of what we have filmed has been at the ballpark. And then we've done interviews with him at home, which made sense. He's a little, private a little bit. I think
he's definitely
I think he protects his, his home life a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah. So I think our hope was to have a more, peel back the curtain and see what it's like to be Bob, at home, and what's his, how does he prepare for his broadcasts, or just what's he like at home. And I think we still want to get a little more of that.
It's funny because every time we go over there, we're like, Bob, you could just do whatever you do. Like we'll just put cameras on you and you do your daily life. But I don't think he's really interested in that. He's like, you're here. He's going to entertain you. He wants you to have a good time.
Right.
His wife Judy's like offering us plates of meat and cheese, and like.
He's a connector.
Definitely.
I mean, honestly, that's really his gift. We're going to hear more from behind the scenes of the documentary film Uke next on What's on Tap.
The Upswing is your place for commerce and community.
What are the impacts of just the constantly escalating housing costs in this market and all other markets?
Hosted by Jeff Sherman.
This has real effects on real people's lives. People's rents go up every year. People can't find an affordable starter home. People can't downsize. We need to change something.
Weekdays from 10 to 11 on WTMJ. Presented by Horicon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs.
I'm Sandy Maxx with WTMJ, and make the most of your life in that next chapter. And as you celebrated the holidays, did you observe and connect with your loved ones and see how they're doing physically and mentally? Well, if you're noticing changes, my friends at Three Pillars Senior Living Communities in Dousman is here to help, because they have resources and free educational programs to support you if you're considering transitioning into the caring, top-rated environment that Three Pillars offers, or if you think it could be a good idea for a family member, maybe your parents, maybe an aunt or an uncle. Get all the info and get the help with Three Pillars at their website, threepillars.org, or you can call them 800-848-5306.
Special Milwaukee Auto Show Advanced Discount Ticket Offer has been extended to January 22nd. Turns out a lot of people want to come to the auto show. Get your auto show tickets now at a big discount. Buy a single ticket, or how about a pair of tickets for date night? Or you can buy a family 4-pack and take everybody. They can see all the latest vehicles, including cars, trucks, SUVs, luxury cars, and much more. For advanced discount tickets, go to autoshowmilwaukee.com. That's autoshowmilwaukee.com.
Adrian was seriously injured when a careless driver merged into her lane.
Gruber was there for everything that I needed. Any questions that I had, Gruber was there. They made me feel like everything about my situation and my accident was very important to them, and that made me feel good. And I would definitely call Gruber again for that.
Serving Wisconsin for over 35 years, Gruber Law Offices, one call, that's all.
They go above and beyond for their clients.
You're listening to What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx on WTMJ.
I'm Sandy Maxx, and you're hearing highlights from What's on Tap's celebration of Wisconsin icon Bob Uecker.
I did the first Tonight Show in 1969.
Thank you. Really good. Thank you.
You know, I've been doing colleges and sports banquets around the country.
So would you welcome Bob Uecker?
But now it hits me, right? The Tonight Show. That was the biggest show there was on television.
That is you down here?
Yes, that's me. That's my hidden ball trick.
As we're saying goodnight, I shake hands with Johnny, and as I'm walking away, I hear Johnny say to Ed, "Did that guy really play?" And Ed said, I think so. I don't know.
He is known simply as Mr. Baseball, Bob Uecker.
I'll tell you what, this is the closest ticket Bob Uecker's ever had in his life doing a bat.
Good seats, huh? You're in the wrong seat, buddy. Come on. Oh, I must be in the front row. Over here.
Yes, George?
My potatoes are lumpy.
Let me call Idaho.
When you think of great baseball players, a lot of names come to mind. Bob Uecker is not one of them.
That is an excerpt from the documentary film In Progress called Ueck, celebrating Bob Uecker's career, as you can hear, his pop culture impact, and the connection he has made with people. I'm Sandy Maxx, and on What's on Tap tonight, I'm joined in the WTMJ studio by two local filmmakers involved in this Ueck documentary, co-directors Steve Farr and Michael T. Volman. And in that clip, we hear Johnny Carson. And you also get a glimpse of Ueck and professional wrestling. And he's had such a solid presence in pop culture, from TV to beer commercials to sports. Guys, what is the process of getting this mammoth amount of entertainment footage from over the decades? I mean, in my mind, I have images of stacks of VHS tapes. Like, where do you find these nuggets of great video?
Yeah, I mean, that's been a really fun process, just trying to find as much as we can from all the things he's done. Johnny Carson, Belvedere Show, he's done all these, the Miller Lite ads that really kind of made him pop, definitely in pop culture. He did Saturday Night Live. I mean, countless shows. He was just kind of all over television. And the fascinating thing was that, like, I kind of knew, I knew how, I think as people from, like, I'm from Milwaukee, and so it's almost as if, like, an old friend that you knew from the old days, and he, like, goes out and becomes a star. You kind of always think of him as, like, the hometown guy, and, like, you kind of take for granted how sort of what a pop phenomenon he is.
And how do you choose which clips make the cut for the film when there are so very many? Is it the ones that make you laugh the most? The ones maybe it might be more rare?
I mean, the truth is, we still have a lot more culling down to do.
I'll bet.
I mean, it's funny. When we were doing some interviews with Bob at his house, and like Michael said, Judy's always kind of close by, making sandwiches or something, and she came out with this, grocery bag, brown paper bag, just full of VHS tapes, and she said, "Well, there's stuff in here. There's a lot of stuff in here you might want to look at." And so we did, and it was a little bit of everything. It was, Belvedere, and it was Tonight Show episodes, and a little bit of home movies, and
even like Admiral's commercials, local stuff.
And it wasn't like labeled really very well. So it was kind of, you put the tape in and just we'll see what it's going to be, and just treasure trove of kind of fun stuff.
As a documentarian, like, this must be part of the labor of life. It's still work. It's hours and hours, and that's got to be some of the, I hesitate to even say tedious, just because it would be such a joy, but you also fall down the rabbit hole. Like, you just do that on YouTube. So now you've got a 6-hour VHS cassette that used to live in Bob Uecker's VCR. Like, how do you not, just mathematically, that time.
Yeah.
It's got to be engrossing.
Yeah, we've spent a lot of time throughout this last season doing that, and we would pop in VHS tapes and try to digitize them. I'd be sending clips to Steve and our director of photography, Joe Peachlow, and he'd just be like, "Look what we found! We found these great clips." Him doing stand-up, stuff like that.
I want to get into. What were you say, Steve?
Well, I was just going to say also we're in communication with Major League Baseball. With their team in New York as a archival footage department, basically, and so we've had a couple calls with them, and they want to help as much as they're able.
Yeah, they must have some wonderful archives.
Sure.
He's
I don't know. We don't know how much they actually have of Bob's playing career because
Bob's playing career.
Pretty much.
We're going to get into that, those early days of Bob at Milwaukee, with the co-directors of the documentary film Uke. They'll share more behind-the-scenes stories of the creative process and what the next steps are, coming up on What's on Tap.
Do you hear that? The Milwaukee Boat Show is here. 8 days of boating excellence at the Wisconsin Expo Center at State Fair Park, January 17th through the 19th and the 22nd through the 26th. While you're there, register to win the HO Sports Beacon Eye Kayak from Skipper Buds, the most durable inflatable kayak in the market. Milwaukee Boat Show is back at the Wisconsin State Fair inside the Expo Center. For more information, visit WTMJ.com.
Hey, business owners, are you looking to sell your business? I'm sure you have plenty of questions. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Join me for our latest Annex Wealth Management webinar. I'll be joined by Brandon Lehman and Brian Lamborn from Annex Wealth Management as we answer your questions. Who should you consult? And of course, when is the best time for you to sell your business? Sign up for this free webinar on Wednesday, January 29th. Text WEB to 855-616-1620 to sign up for the free webinar. Only here on WTMJ.
You're right, and I'll agree. It does sound too good to be true, but offering you affordable treatment that alleviates pain, which really does work, that we've seen in most cases insurance paid for in full, is a definite reality. It's pain relief, really. And these are FDA-approved treatments. They're safe and proven to reduce inflammation and alleviate pain. Yeah, you'll have to get a couple of shots, and I know that can scare people. But the needle is extremely small. And after giving shots like this hundreds of thousands of times, you'll see we make it very easy. You're going to feel the relief that our powerful pain relief agents give you. They're pain relief drugs that solve pain problems. And the way I feel is that Rejuvenex should be the first stop for anyone living with pain in shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees. At $65 per joint, per injection, it's probably the most affordable pain relief option available that actually works.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex Google reviews will tell you more.
Start the new year off right with a new Tempur-Pedic mattress from Steinhafels. Right now, you can get a new Tempur-Pedic for just $52 per month when you use Steinhafels 60-month financing. Plus, you get $300 in Steinhafels cash. Shop in-store or on steinhafels.com.
This is What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx.
I'm Sandy Maxx, and you're hearing highlights from What's on Tap's celebration of Wisconsin icon Bob Uecker.
Growing up, Orchard Field was a AAA ballpark in Milwaukee, which was about 8 blocks from my house. And on Sundays, Jesus, it was jammed. Listening to baseball at night on a transistor radio in my room, man, that was it. All night long.
And the next pitch, Gehringer, line to hit. Back at second base. Watson scoring. Right is
I actually started out pitching, and I was doing bad. It was nothing to do with the catcher. And after a particularly bad inning, I was sitting next to him on the bench, and I got on him a little bit about a couple pitches that I threw in the dirt that he didn't block. He said, "You think you're so good? Do it." So he took the shin guards off, and I put them on. I asked the manager, and I liked it. It was putting signs down and calling the game. Getting hit with foul balls in the mask, and it felt good.
A pop foul. They catch a euchre under it, and we have 2 down.
We always laughed about it because I was the first native Milwaukeean to play with the Braves.
Charlie Dressen, I guess, was managing the Braves. Yes. Right? That's your first big league club,
That's right.
the Milwaukee Braves.
Yes.
And when he sends you out, he says, there's no room in baseball for a clown.
That's what he said. Yeah.
And then I was also the first native Milwaukeean to be sent to the minor leagues by the Braves.
I remember that like it was a long time ago.
Which it was.
Yes.
Yeah, I said that as a joke. Play me, trade me, or I'll quit. And they did trade me. But we won a world championship, too, with St. Louis.
This is you, isn't it, Robert? In this last picture, I can't even guess what you're doing here.
Well, this was taken during the 1964 World Series. They had 4 bands on the field, and
we were taking batting practice, and you caught about 5 balls in that tuba.
Well, I haven't. None of them can use a tuba like you, Bob.
No, that's it, yeah.
I mean, let's face it, you know.
That is an excerpt from the documentary film In Progress titled Uke, celebrating Bob Uecker's baseball career and his pop culture impact, and also just how special he is and the connection he's made with people. And in that clip, boy, do we get a sense of how proud Bob Uecker is to be from Milwaukee, in addition to his journey of not necessarily being the best athlete. In the studio with me are the co-directors of this new documentary, Uke, Steve Farr, and Michael T. Volman. Thanks for being here. It has been fun learning about this process and your insights so far. But Milwaukee, in Bob Uecker's DNA, and really, he's in the city's DNA. He's in the state's DNA. It's one thing to be proud of where you grew up from. I think we all feel that. What do you think it is that makes Bob's connection to Milwaukee so powerful?
He's kind of thinks of himself as an everyman. He's probably... I definitely grew up in kind of a blue-collar household, like a lot of people in Milwaukee did and do. I don't think he ever puts himself up higher than anybody else. He has kind of, when he comes to the ballpark in the morning, he drives his Corvette in, typically, right? But then he stops and he'll talk to the landscaping guys, and then he'll talk to, it goes from one kind of room to the next and just talking to, everybody. And everybody's friends with him. It's just kind of interesting because I can't imagine, Vince Scully did this type of thing with the Dodgers, but I might be wrong. But he's just got such a great personality, and people just relate to him so well and connect on so many different levels. And even the ball players. I mean, you've got someone who's turning 90 tomorrow, and he genuinely connects with, 21, 22-year-old ball players.
I never saw him have such a youthful energy than recently when we went to the playoffs in 2018 and he's getting soaked with champagne. Right. And it's just that energy. You could hear it in his voice when he had a remote kit in the locker room during the WTMJ broadcast, and you could just hear his joy. Yeah. Sure, he's an older man, but he sounded 50 when he was in that locker room high-fiving, and you can hear the guys, pouring champagne and beer on him. He really was genuinely in his element.
Yeah, I mean, as far as him calling games, I mean, I've enjoyed, I'd say like he's on top of his game. Like for all of his career, I've enjoyed, like, I don't know what the last 5-10 years. I mean, I just think he appreciates it more than ever and does such a great job. He's really on. And then just as far as connection with the team, I mean, he's like has different handshakes with each ball player in the clubhouse and kind of connects with them. He talks to the players' moms, he kind of builds a relationship with the families and things like that, because he knows what it was like to be a ball player and, like, the difficulties of it and the positive things of it. So I think he makes decisions to kind of help people rise to their best, in the game, in the family, stuff like that.
It's because he loves the game so much, and he seems to genuinely be a people person when you value those relationships from everybody in the ballpark, every single person from Bud Selig, who he doesn't even call Bud. It's fascinating. So I love that you're digging deeper into the person that is Bob Uecker in your new documentary. We're going to find out more behind the scenes with Steve Farr and Michael T. Volman, the co-directors.
Next on What's on Tap on WTMJ.
I'm Tony Drake from Drake & Associates. Taxes in retirement could take a bigger bite out of your savings than ever before. With a rising tax environment, many retirees are worried about running out of money. At Drake & Associates, we understand those fears, and we're here to help you feel more confident about your retirement. That's why we're offering a free retirement toolkit and a copy of my book, Get Retirement Ready, to help you take control of your financial future. Don't let rising taxes catch you off guard. Text TAX to 414-897-9522 to claim your free resources. That's TAX to 414-897-9522.
Drake & Associates is an independent investment advisory firm that offers different investment vehicles. All insurance products are backed by the issuing insurance company. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only.
I know, January's here. WTMJ's John Merck here. If you have the January blues, start your weekend tonight with a free dinner at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club, voted the best supper club in the area. Enjoy any steak, the seafood, the pan-fried walleye, a fresh salad, steak and lobster, the ribs, the pasta, any dinner on the menu. Your second dinner is free. Desserts and those huge ice cream drinks. Also, buy one, get one free. Sip on an old-fashioned, a Manhattan. Check out the bourbon. 100 wines on the new wine list. The Fox and Hounds in the heart of the Kettle Moraine Forest is a one-of-a-kind gem. The holiday decorations are still up with thousands of lights. The Christmas characters. It's a must-see, and those 7 wood-burning fireplaces will keep you warm on a cold January night. Weekends might be too busy for some, so enjoy a quiet, romantic dinner tonight at the Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the famous Holy Hill Shrine. The drive is beautiful. Start your weekend tonight with a free dinner. Reserve at foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
By now, you've probably figured out what's most important to us at Semperfi is our reputation. Building a great character-driven remodeling company is actually quite easy. It's just the first 20 years that are a bit challenging. Great companies are collections of great people, and we have great people. They're the ones that helped us build our reputation, but they only come after you've built something they want to be part of. We don't necessarily have to look for good people. They come to us. And that's what you want when you hire an exterior remodeling company. Someone who's going to stand behind their work, and a company that is truly proud of their people. And it's because they do great work. And when you're ready, we'll do great work for you too. This is Brad Youngluth with Semperfi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semperfi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semperfi.
What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx is back on WTMJ.
I'm Sandy Maxx, and you're hearing highlights from What's on Tap's celebration of Wisconsin icon Bob Uecker.
Did you imagine yourself being a broadcaster?
No, no way.
Hello again, everybody. Harry Doyle here, welcoming all you friends of the feather to another season of Indians baseball.
I used to sit in the bullpen and do Harry Carey.
Here we are in the Cardinal clubhouse with along with Jack Buck.
And when I first started doing it for real, it was the worst.
Buddy hired me in 1971. I was doing a New York writers' dinner, and Bud asked me if I'd like to come back to Milwaukee and work. And I said, yeah.
I had to do play-by-play. I never did it before. Never. All the stuff I did, the Tonight Shows and all the other stuff. I don't know if I was ever that frightened. And we're in Yankee Stadium. The engineer finally said, you better start talking. There's one out.
Yelich to left, deep, warning track, get up, get out of here and go. 1-2, swing it out, goodbye Detroit, hello New York, it's ready, oh my God, the Indians, and the Brewers are going to the postseason again. They're the Central Division champions. Oh wow.
That is an excerpt from the documentary film In Progress titled Uke, and you get to see images of Milwaukee Brewers broadcasting legend Bob Uecker celebrating with the teams, getting soaked in 1982 with Robin Yount and Paul Molitor, and more recently in 2018 in the locker room with so many of the players. The co-directors of this documentary, In Progress, Steve Farr and Michael T. Volman, are with me in the studio, and you guys have spent the last year following Uke at the ball games, talking with him, talking with his colleagues. What's something you can tell me about being in the broadcast booth with him? That is such a special space.
We first started shooting with Uke actually in spring training last year, and we spent a few days, interviewing and just meeting with them. And then Steve and Joe, our DP, they went and filmed with him in the booth, and it just was kind of, I guess when I saw the footage, they brought the footage back, and I was looking through it. I was like, there's such a process and such like a performative aspect of the radio, and it sounds so natural when you listen on the radio. But then when you see like his just the way he has like his methods of like highlighting certain things, and he, reading through his research, and he has his own very special scorecard that I guess has been customized for his kind of unique desires to keep score of the game. And he and the other broadcasters share that book, and they pass it back and forth depending on who's calling the inning. And it's funny because Lane Grindle and Jeff Levering, they would say like they kind of would get nervous when they first started working with you to like that they didn't want to mess up his methods of like how he took score and do everything the right way so that it'd be a seamless transition. And I guess he actually has someone print like specific score books for the season. I think they go through like 2 a year. And he has a guy that does it. And then through filming, we actually, I think at one point, Lane Grindle kind of showed us took us over to like a locker, and they pulled out like scorecards from, I don't know, a decade worth of games. And it was just like, you could literally open up a scorebook from any game and kind of just like read it if you know how to read it and know like, the history of that game for decades.
Yeah. So. Baseball hieroglyphics.
That's what I say, the Uecker system and the shorthand, and
honestly,
that's got to be fascinating. What a cool archive and baseball artifacts.
For sure. Yeah.
So what is the next step to creating this documentary of Uke? What's next on the documentary filmmaker schedule?
Well, we still have a lot of filming to do. We took a little break after the season. I mean, that's I can see why the players are tired at the end of a season. And I think, Bob too. I mean, it took a toll, I think, by the end of the season. So letting everyone rest up, but we're going to start up with interviews again, more interviews with Bob. We still have to speak with Judy and family members, and then we really need to get out to LA because there's aspects of Bob's life that we haven't touched upon because being in Milwaukee, it was easy for us to go to the ballpark and film that type of thing. So we can tell the baseball side of the story pretty easily, but there's the Hollywood Bob.
Yep.
There's the Major League Bob, and there's the Tonight Show Bob, and the Mr. Belvedere Bob, and I think I mentioned earlier, Sandy, about professional wrestling, which isn't like my thing really, but if you talk to younger Bob fans, a lot of them, they know him through professional wrestling more than they do for baseball.
His appearance there wasn't long, but it was impactful. It was memorable.
Right.
If only we could talk to Andre the Giant.
Right. Yeah.
I have to think that when you ask, hey, we're making a documentary about Bob Uecker's life, would you be willing to chat with us? Does anybody say no?
Oh, I don't think anyone said no, right?
No one said no.
The people are lining up. Yeah. They hear about it, and next thing you know, we're hearing from their people that they'd love to be interviewed.
We reached out and talked to people, and like, when are you coming? When are you going to be here? When are you coming out to LA? The Belvedere, a lot of Belvedere, the cast members, we've talked to them, and they're all very excited and
good. How do we follow along with the progress of Uke, the documentary?
Yeah, our webpage is september.club/Uke, UECK, september.club/Uke.
And I am so pleased that I got a chance to talk with Uke co-director Steve Farr today. He shared that he and Michael are sad about the news of Bob Uecker passing this morning after a battle with small cell lung cancer. Of course they're sad, but their production team is staying on course to make the documentary happen, and the editing process is happening, and more interviews are planned in the coming months for the documentary Uke. And I'm Sandy Maxx. You are listening to this special Bob Uecker celebration episode of What's on Tap. What's on Tap is sponsored by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world-class. Discover more at visitmilwaukee.org. And what are you feeling about Uke? Share your comments and memories with me on the Siding Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line 855-616-1620. Bob Uecker would want us laughing. So share your stories tonight, 855-616-1620. Doug texted in just a few minutes ago. I've listened to him since I was 7 years old, and it's almost like losing a relative. It won't be the same this season. Doug, share your thoughts, 855-616-1620. The lights are blue on buildings in Milwaukee tonight. Flowers and Miller Beer light cans are at the base of the Uecker statue outside American Family Field. How will you be paying tribute to Uke? A range of emotions from Uecker fans is next on WTMJ.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. In retirement, the certainty of protection and income are the keys to success. And as a former NFL player myself, I have experience with both. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game films helped me mentally prepare for the challenges ahead. Now I star in a new Hollywood documentary called The Retirement Deception to help you visualize and prepare for your fourth quarter of life. You see, you don't retire on your nest egg, but rather the income it can produce. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. And it's free for you to view. Call 844-763-2837 right now for your free streaming code to watch The Retirement Deception. Don't risk your retirement savings at the goal line. You don't need to be risky to have a winning strategy. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free streaming code to watch The Retirement Deception. Call today, 844-763-2837. That's 844-763-2837. MitchLyonsWealth.com, your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
We know what you're thinking, and all we can tell you is to drive careful.
Yep, Wisconsin roads are no joke this time of year, especially when you're driving on old, worn-out tires.
Schedule yourself a tire appointment with Richlands. We carry all sorts of tire brands, including Goodyear, Kelly, Continental, and General, to name a few.
And every tire we install automatically comes with free tire mounting, free lifetime tire rotation, free flat tire repairs, and free alignment inspections.
Not to mention free wheel corrosion cleaning, lifetime warranty spin balance, and prorated tire protection.
Let's just say, if you're driving around town, especially this time of year on old, worn-out tires, you're due for tire service.
Courtney's right. And remember, be safe, buckle up, and hey, always make sure you have good tread on your tires, because cold, wet, icy roads are no joke. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands, and you're due for service.
Richlands Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richlands.
Immerse yourself in a place where bold ideas are sought after, where all are encouraged to bring their personal flourish. Here, innovation is a way of life. In this city, the beat flows. Together, we're dancing to the rhythm. Forward. Now, it's your turn to grab hold of that energy. What you'll remember, not just the meals, the celebrations, or the uncommon coast. What you'll remember is how we made you feel. Come experience Milwaukee, where fresh meets fearless every day.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
Welcome back to What's on Tap on WTMJ.
Music from Major League, the 1989 comedy movie filmed in Milwaukee in the summer of 1988. Ask around. You probably know someone who spent time at Milwaukee County Stadium as a film extra, and you certainly know someone in your circle who can quote Bob Uecker's character, Harry Doyle, just a bit outside. I'm Sandy Maxx, and on this episode of What's on Tap, we are celebrating Milwaukee Brewers broadcaster and all-around epic entertainer Bob Uecker. And as a Milwaukee Brewers fan and an original Milwaukee Brewers in-game host, I certainly circulate in a group that greatly appreciates Bob Uecker. It is my pleasure to share with you some of that affection, starting with a guy who used to be on the Milwaukee Brewers brew crew with me in my game day host years, Tim Shea.
When I hear the name Bob Uecker, an instant smile comes to my face. I could listen to him talk about baseball all day long if I could. Having the pleasure to work with him for 4 years, every joke and every story that he would tell ended in laughter and tears.
When I hear the name Bob Uecker, I smile. And I know he's known as Mr. Baseball, but for me, he's known as Mr. Joy.
I'm Bob Brainerd, and when I was covering the Brewers for Fox Sports Wisconsin, I wanted to avoid an exchange with Bob Uecker that had us going, Bob. So whenever I did cross paths with Ueck, I would nod and acknowledge him with a Robert. Well, he would grin and return with a, hey, Bobby. And that always made my day.
Hi there, this is Susan Varela. I am the executive director at Skylight Music Theater here in Milwaukee. And the first thing I think of when I hear the name Bob Uecker is the movie Major League. I was actually cast in the movie. And when I went home to tell my parents, my dad said, well, who's in the movie? And I said, well, Rene Russo and Corbin Burnson and Charlie Sheen. And he was like, uh-huh. And I said, Bob Uecker? And he went, Bob Uecker? That's when he was impressed. It was a thrill to be on set with him and watch his work from afar. I'm still a fan.
What comes to mind most is his home run call. Get up, get out of here, gone.
I think of great baseball players drink light because it's less filling. I know, I asked one. As well as, I must be in the front row.
First thing that comes to mind is his sense of humor. I mean, how many times did he kill it on the Johnny Carson show? And then playing George Owens on Mr. Belvedere while being Mr. Baseball at the same time? And still going strong after 51 years? Wow.
Hi, this is Tony Award winner Anthony Crivello. Bob Uecker. Next to the Crusher, the man who made Milwaukee famous, known across all of media as Mr. Baseball. When I hear the name Bob Uecker, what comes to mind? There's too many things to mention. Everything from Usinger sausages to his breaking in with the Braves in Milwaukee in 1962. To his special Bob Uecker statue, permanently enshrined in AmFam Field in Section 422. Bob, the city of Milwaukee and all of baseball fans owe you so much. God bless, Bob. We all love you.
John Suntress here. Always been a fan. What I've always loved about you is, even as a Cub fan, and I don't want to upset Milwaukee listeners because I know the last thing you want to hear is from an Illinois person, but it's always been a pleasure listening to you do Brewer games. You're one of a kind, man.
When I hear the name Bob Uecker, I think of a lot of things like Harry Doyle, just a bit outside, Miller Lite commercials, must be in the front row, and the countless, I think 100 times or more that he appeared on the Johnny Carson show. Deadpan delivery, comic genius. Just love Bob Uecker. And of course, being an old dude, I remember Bob Uecker as a baseball player. I was a big St. Louis Cardinal fan, and only one time a year could we make the long trip to St. Louis to see a ball game, and I would look in the paper and I'd try to figure out the starting rotation and who was going to be pitching that day, and I kept hoping that it would not be Bob Uecker. I was a big Tim McCarver fan, and I wanted to see the starting lineup. I didn't want to see any of the subs coming in, and at that time, of course, he was a sub. But Bob Uecker, what a life, what a legend. His photo with Bob Gibson in 1964, the team photo, he's holding hands with Bob Gibson. Hilarious. Someday they'll do a movie about you, Bob, and I think they should call it Tuba in the Outfield.
When I hear the name Bob Uecker, I think of one word: funny. Born and raised in Milwaukee, I listen to Brewers games on WTMJ with Merle Harmon and Bob Uecker like everybody else. And I wondered why Bob would tell rambling stories about his time in baseball and other things that happened in his life. Then years later, I saw him on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, and those very same stories were polished, and he delivered them with his dry wit and sense of humor that he had, and the place went nuts. I know how much hard work went into it, so it helped me as a professional comedian see behind the scenes of what goes into being funny. And every time I've seen him, whether on TV, on the WWF WrestleMania, on his sitcom, Mr. Belvedere, he was always funny. He's natural. He's got it in him. And to play Major League Baseball on top of that is a real achievement. Bob Uecker is a treasure, not only for Milwaukee, but for the United States of America.
It's tough to say bye to Bob today. I'm Sandy Maxx. You're listening to What's on Tap. And as we learned that Bob Uecker passed away this morning after fighting privately cancer, and you heard the voices of Uecker fans. We are celebrating his life tonight with Tim Shea, Denise Wilkie, Bob Brainerd, Susan Varela, Stephanie Walters, Jason Pinkowski, Kelly Shears, Anthony Crivello, John Centris, Spiff Carner, and Dobie Maxwell were heard there. But there are so many more fans. And what did Ueck mean to you? Share your thoughts on the Siding Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620. Uecker sings next on What's on Tap.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Just like most cars and trucks can't run without oil, no person can function without food. That's why through March 1st, the Auto Dealers of Metro Milwaukee is contributing $1 from every oil change to Feeding America, Eastern Wisconsin. Every dollar provides 3 healthy meals. Over the past 14 years, Adam has provided more than 2.6 million meals to people in southeast Wisconsin. And now the need is greater than ever. Find a participating Adam dealer near you at adamm.com.
When it comes to simple, affordable home improvements, at Les's Glass, you'll find an array of options. Like for bath remodeling, adding a new glass shower door, embeveling the edges of your mirrors, or simply having us install new mirrors to any living space in your home can add a touch of elegance and depth that can really turn a room's frown upside down. Or maybe you're thinking new cabinet doors. Before you write that check, find out how we can make your ordinary cabinet doors beautiful with a variety of glass insert options that can be easily installed into your existing wood cabinets and make a world of difference. And before you pay for new windows, call us to see if our affordable insulated glass replacement services can't save you a few bucks. This is Stacy Sinks with Les's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Les's Glass. Les's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lesglassservice.com.
And now, feast your ears. This is the song you need to hear.
Most blokes are going to be playing at 10. These go to 11.
Hi, this is Tony Award winner Anthony Crivello. Bob Uecker, known across all of media as Mr. Baseball. Bob sang on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson on October 8th, 1986. My kind of town, Chicago is. Even Sinatra couldn't top this one.
My kind of town. My kind of town? Yeah. My kind of town, Chicago is. My kind of town, Chicago is. My kind of people, too. People who smile at you. And each time I roam, Chicago is calling me home. And like I said, I don't want to do the whole song. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't.
October 7th.
We've only been in
October 17th?
17th, yeah.
Bowling for me. Well, you're not trained as a professional singer. It's quite goes without saying.
Like I said, I don't have my accompanist.
Of course.
I've only been in rehearsal for 6 weeks, so I was a little rough, and he missed a couple of notes.
Just Anyway, we'll all look forward, some of us will look forward to it.
Well, I get better as the show goes on, too.
Well, sure, sure. But you do what, 1 or 2 numbers?
I do actually 4 numbers.
You got to be kidding. You've got to be kidding.
4 numbers, and yeah, it's record label people are calling already.
I'll bet you they are.
I asked to put my feet in the cement down at some Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
Boy, it's so hard dodging those cars in the street.
A highlight of over 100 appearances Bob Uecker made on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, because Carson was just as entertained and charmed by Uecker as many of us are. I'm Sandy Maxx. Thank you for joining me for this special episode of What's on Tap, the baseball song inspired by Uecker, by this Wisconsin musician and Whammy Hall of Famer.
Hey, this is Willie Porter. I'm so grateful that I grew up listening to baseball on the radio with my dad in the garage, working on old race cars and all kinds of house projects. That was my introduction really to what baseball could be, how people could see it. And the game was made visual by Bob Uecker's voice as it came into our garage as we worked on these projects together. I'll forever be grateful for that. Bob, you're an American treasure.
Had a Chevy V8 with Naugahyde seats. Family station wagon, 1973. We were driving to the store, Bob Uecker calling the place. Just a 9-year-old kid, my dad had nothing to say, nothing. I asked him, what do we need? He said, I don't know. Well, why did we drive to Sears? He said, it's good to hear some baseball on the radio. And for now, your mother's not here. For now, your mother's not here. We had baseball on the radio. Baseball on the radio. It'll unwind your mind. You can let it all go.
Today at the amazing Mind Chef restaurant in Hartford, WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love the free pizza days. Seriously, it's free. Coaches, managers, business owners, listen up. Check this out. Every Thursday, when you buy 1 pizza, you get a second pizza free. Buy 2, get 2 free. Buy 10, get 10 free. You get it. Bring in your basketball, wrestling, hockey, gymnastics, volleyball team, or your club organization for free pizza after your practice or game. Your players are going to love that huge game room. It's super affordable team bonding. Bring in pizza today for your loyal employees. Half those pizzas are free. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and Oshkosh near the EAA. It's right off the interstate. Tons of seating, tons of close parking. Buy 1 pizza today, get 1 free. That's tons of value. Plenty to take home for tomorrow. Order now and pick it up shortly or dine in. A reminder, the Friday all-you-can-eat fish fry is just $7.99. Whoa, that's great value. Walk in today for your free Thursday pizza. MindShaftRestaurant.com.
Deep freeze is here. It's not too late for you to get hot, hot, hot. Fox World Travel has your ticket to paradise with exclusive deals you won't find anywhere else. Save up to $150 on Mexico and Caribbean vacations with Apple Vacations, or get Fox exclusive cruise perks like onboard credits and more with Celebrity Cruises, Holland America, or Princess. Don't miss this limited time to book now and save only at Fox World Travel. Book online or call 866-GO-FOX-GO and mention code radio.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
The legendary voice of the Brewers, Bob Uecker, has passed away. We remember the life, the legacy, and of course the calls.
Get up! Get up! Get out of here! Go!
Rest in peace to one of the greatest to ever do it. We'll miss you, Bob. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
At 7 o'clock, it's 33 degrees. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies, a low of 25. Friday, mostly sunny, windy, and mild, a high of 43. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Jessica Gatso. Mr. Baseball, Bob Uecker, has passed away.
Swing and a drive to center and deep. Way back. Get up. Get up. Get out of here and
Today we take on the heaviest of burdens. Today we say goodbye to our beloved friend, Bob Uecker. That statement from the Brewers organization today announcing Uecker's passing at the age of 90. Uecker had battled small cell lung cancer since early 2023, his family says. In a statement from the Uecker family, they go on to say, he met that cancer with the same strength and resilience that defined him. Even in the face of his challenge, his enthusiasm for life was always present, never allowing his spirit to falter. Bob Uecker, dead at the age of 90.
No doubt about that, baby.
Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
I'm Adam Roberts, just down the road from many famous Bob Uecker calls. At fourth base on National, the mood is somber.
It was that iconic voice that you could connect to your experience with baseball.
Manager CJ Papara tells WTMJ Uecker's influence in Southeast Wisconsin goes beyond his calls on the mic.
We're trying to find a way to honor a guy that meant so much to Miller Park, County Stadium, this whole general area, and make sure he gets his due.
At fourth base on National, Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
As for the Brewers organization, mourning will eventually make way for happier memories. Brewers principal owner Mark Atanasio speaking to the media today, calling it a privilege to work with Bob and call him a friend.
Johnny Cash had a song, I've Been Everywhere. It was I've been everywhere, man. And in blessed life I've had, I've been everywhere. I feel like I've met almost everybody, and there's nobody like Bob. Nobody.
The Brewers have not yet released information regarding a celebration of life for Uecker. A child has died from the flu. The Department of Health Services confirms the first pediatric death in Wisconsin associated with influenza. DHS recommends everyone over the age of 6 months get vaccinated against the flu and COVID-19 to avoid serious illness. Across the country, 16 kids have died from the flu so far this season. New details about the Southwest Airlines pilot pulled from the cockpit Wednesday by police. A complaint says pilot David Alsop failed a sobriety test moments before he was set to take off. ABC's Trevor Alt.
The arresting officer saying he detected a strong odor of what seemed to be alcohol, adding they conducted a sobriety test there on the jet bridge, and officers saying Alsop failed and refused a state-mandated blood test. According to authorities, the manager of the Southwest Airlines drug and alcohol team asked police to release Mr. Alsop to Southwest so they could carry out their own investigation, but police informed them he'd be taken to jail.
Rudy Giuliani has reached a settlement with 2 former Georgia election workers in a defamation case.
The former New York City mayor and ex-Trump attorney will keep his apartment and property, but he also agrees not to make any more defamatory comments about Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss. Giuliani's son Andrew continues to stand by his father.
I just want to say, as a son, as an American, I'm so proud of my father to see what he's been put through over the last 4 years.
Giuliani lost a $148 million defamation case to Freeman and Moss for spreading lies about them after the 2020 election. Bill Caiaccio for CBS News, Atlanta.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News, time 7:04.
Our favorite reason to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler? Free service for life with no fine print. That's right. When you buy your engagement ring or any piece of jewelry at Diamonds Direct, you will never have to pay a dime in the future for sizing, cleaning, or routine maintenance. At Diamonds Direct, there's no gotcha clause, no fine print, no looking for ways to void the warranty. Diamonds Direct, the jeweler you can trust with a no questions asked 100% free lifetime warranty with no strings attached. Come see us to learn more.
Reason number 52 to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler. Only Diamonds Direct gives you a 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Diamonds Direct will give you 110% of your original purchase price toward the new stone. That's 10% more than you paid the first time. Guaranteed appreciation. Who else does this? There's no fine print and no minimum purchase requirement. It's 10% more, period. Buy with confidence. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
So how do you underpromise and still get the job? We believe in our hearts we're going to do great work for you. We're just really careful about making unrealistic promises. At Semperfi, we refuse to set the bar higher than we can jump. But be assured, that's the goal. To do all we can to jump as high as possible to try to exceed your expectations. We're looking to break records. That's how you win over customers, get really great referrals, and build a great business. When you're making a decision to hire an exterior remodeling company, character, integrity, and the feeling that the people you're about to hire are truly eager to show you how good they are should stand at the top of your list. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law offices. One call, that's all sports desk. The Bucks are 22-17, good for fourth in the East after their 122-93 win Wednesday night at Fiserv Forum. They'll go for 3 wins in a row when they face the Raptors for another home game on Friday night. And the Wisconsin's women's basketball is back in action tonight, hosting Ohio State. Tip-off at 8 p.m. at the Kohl Center in Madison. Badger sports updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited. Siding and a whole lot more. Taking a look at the roads with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. Just a couple of disabled vehicles to look out for this evening. We have one on the exit to National and 6 from 4394 south. Be careful, that is blocking the exit a little bit, looks like from the cameras there. And another one to watch out for is on 4145 south, about a half a mile beyond the ramp from Hampton Avenue. Looks like that is pulled over to the right shoulder at this time. And taking a look at the WTMJ forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies, a low of 25. Friday, mostly sunny, windy, and mild, a high of 43. On Saturday, mostly sunny, breezy, and colder, a high of 18. Sunday, sunny, breezy, and that bitter cold sets in, a high of 4, a wind chill of 25 to 15 below zero. On Monday, sunny, breezy, and bitter cold once again with a high of 0 and a wind chill of 30 to 15 below zero. Right now in Milwaukee, it's 33 degrees. I'm Jessica Gatso, Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 7:08.
Your need-to-know cultural snapshot of Wisconsin and beyond. This is What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx, sponsored by Visit Milwaukee, a deep dive into all things intriguing, riveting, and entertaining. Now, here's your host, Sandy Maxx.
Thank you for joining me on What's on Tap, sponsored by Visit Milwaukee. We are celebrating Bob Uecker's humor, his place in history as a Hall of Fame broadcaster, calling Milwaukee Brewers games since 1971, and also celebrating his legacy as a human being. He treated just about everybody, from the grounds crew to the commissioner, as a friend when it came to his work and even his life. If you were going to roof his house, you're going to have a conversation with him. If you were going to go fishing, you're going to have a conversation with Bob Uecker. So it's a true loss. Our city of Milwaukee, which Ueck proudly and devotedly called home, our state of Wisconsin, and well beyond our state lines, family, friends, fans, all mourning the loss of Bob Uecker. And I would love to hear your memories and stories of Ueck. One way to share, use your phone. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620. And if you text the word Bob, you can get a link to see all of our coverage we've done so far on podcasts and stories and tributes. That's the Siding Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line. Text Bob, 855-616-1620. So coming up before 8, your memories. Plus, we'll hear from Major League co-star Monty the Color Man. Skip Graperis got to be one-on-one with Bob Uecker, acting in Major League and Major League 2. So we'll hear from him and his memories. Also, the time when Bob Uecker was on Saturday Night Live. And when it comes to Milwaukee Brewers and the team, I got a chance to chat with Brewers All-Star Corey Hart last summer when he was in town promoting his whiskey, but also for Ryan Braun's Milwaukee Brewers Walk of Fame induction. And in that conversation, I asked Corey Hart about his interactions with Bob Uecker.
Bob's amazing. If you know him, he's amazing. I don't see him all the time. I see him probably once a year, maybe twice a year. And if I see my kids, which he doesn't see my kids very often, he'll, he gets teary-eyed, and he's so invested with the players and their families. And, he reached out to my wife on her 40th birthday, and he's just so, engulfed in Brewer baseball that he's so unique. He's so funny. He's so genuine. He's one of the favorite guys I've ever, been able to be around consistently as a player. And after a player, he's always fun to catch up with. And he's definitely a unique character.
That is really heartwarming. That way beyond playing together. Yeah.
No, of course he's hilarious. I mean, his stories are amazing, but to me, the best part about him is just how much he enjoys doing what he does and enjoys the families of the players.
Any stories you can share? Like a joke that makes you, because there's that side to Bob.
No, Bob is funny. They're usually a little more R-rated, but no, well, the funny thing with him, to find out, most of his stuff he does on TV is improv. Whether he's on Johnny Carson or all the Major League movies, he just kind of makes it up on his own. So that's the fun part with him. He's so witty and so quick that his stories are just, most of them are funny and made up, but they're just because he can do it. It's so cool.
That is former Milwaukee Brewer, Corey Hart, and talking about his interactions with the late Bob Uecker. I'm Sandy Maxx, and talking about the WTMJ Sighting Unlimited talk and text line 855-616-1620, where your memories and stories are welcome. Patty in Oak Creek, what is your memory of Bob Uecker?
Hey, Sandy. Thanks for taking my call. Listen, I won't take up too much time. I'll just talk fast. So my mother passed on at 63, and this is how my mother defined Mr. Baseball, class act. And, when he was at the stadium and we would come to the games, I grew up right by County Stadium, and I went to my first game when I was 5 years old. And, my dad always, said, oh, go say hi to the players and stuff like that. And he never, everyone that's saying, he was, I don't think there's ever going to be another Bob Uecker. There really isn't. And Mr. Baseball and what he did for the city and all the fans and everything like that. But all what I can say is that my dad was a huge Brewer fan, and I'm sure he welcomed him and pushed people out of the way when he got to the pearly gates. My dad would go to sleep. Sandy, and he would have the radio on, just like everybody's calling in. And we would go in there because it would be loud, and he would be laying in bed. And if we came and turned on that radio or turned off that radio, he said, put Bob back on. You know what I mean? My dad would listen to his game opposed to sometimes watching it. So, thank you, Mr. Baseball. Thank you also to his family for giving us to him for all the years that we did. And rest in peace, our dear friend. Thank you for everything.
Oh, Patty in Oak Creek, what a lovely sentiment. And your experience just shows really how multi-generationally Bob Uecker touched people through his baseball broadcasting and through being kind and just making people laugh.
Yeah, class act.
Great.
Thank you, Sandy.
Thanks, Patty. Take good care. And if you have memories to share, the Sighting Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line 855-616-1620. We'll hear some Major League memories next on What's on Tap.
Do you hear that? The Milwaukee Boat Show is here. 8 days of boating excellence at the Wisconsin Expo Center at State Fair Park, January 17th through the 19th and the 22nd through the 26th. While you're there, register to win the HO Sports Beacon Eye Kayak from Skipper Buds, the most durable inflatable kayak in the market. Milwaukee Boat Show is back at the Wisconsin State Fair inside the Expo Center. For more information, visit WTMJ.com.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here, asking you to join me in October as my wife and I explore the magical kingdoms of Southeast Asia, from the villages of Vietnam and the temples of Cambodia to the friendly locals of Laos and the beachside resort in stunning, lively Thailand. I hope you'll join us for this unforgettable journey. Ancient and mysterious worlds of rural landscapes, bustling cities, and fascinating history in Vietnam. Explore the Chu Chi tunnels used by the Viet Cong. Experience a street food adventure through Hanoi and cherish the serenity of Hai Long Bay on a beautiful boat ride. Bangkok in Thailand, the beaches in Thailand, history, tradition, food. If you'd like more information on this great trip, send me an email. john.mercure@WTMJ.com. john.mercure@WTMJ.com. It's Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos. I'm super jazzed about this trip. Send me an email. I send you the info. john.mercure, MERCURE, @WTMJ.com.
No matter how many people are in your family, buying new jackets for the cold weather months can be expensive. But when you shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, prices on cold weather jackets will give you a sigh of relief because thrift store prices mean great deals. And right now we have a great selection. Find great deals on cold weather jackets for the family at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
If you're living with joint pain in your shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees, and you have Medicare or Medicaid insurance, coming to Rejuvenex to solve your pain problems is something you should strongly consider. First off, because our FDA-approved pain treatments have been shown in many cases to be highly effective at reducing inflammation and substantially alleviating pain. Secondly, Medicare and Medicaid cover Rejuvenex treatments, so your cost could be nothing, or next to nothing at all. Chronic pain will only worsen with age. This leads to a far more compromised lifestyle, depression, and soon they start talking surgery. And then what? You have to get in front of arthritis and chronic pain, because the sooner you do, by letting us begin to calm those pain points, the better. I'm Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, and we can alleviate your pain so you can rejuvenate your life.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
This message is sponsored by WisCaregiver.com. Now is the time to start a meaningful career as a caregiver. Make a real difference in people's lives. WisCaregiver.com gives you 2 great options for free. Train for the in-demand caregiver workforce as a CDCP, Certified Direct Care Professional, or become a CNA, Certified Nurse Aide. All training is free. Plus, you can earn a $500 bonus. Learn more. Visit WisCaregiver.com.
You're listening to What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx on WTMJ.
Vaughn into the windup in his first offering. Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
A classic line from the movie Major League, where Bob Uecker played the character of Harry Doyle to an absolute T. I'm Sandy Maxx, and here on What's on Tap tonight, and honestly on WTMJ, continuously, we are celebrating Bob Uecker, who passed away this morning at the age of 90. And when the Milwaukee Brewers gave away the Harry Doyle bobblehead last summer, it sparked an idea, and I knew that there was one person I wanted to find and reach out to, and this is a highlight of that conversation. There is only one person who really got to spend time with Bob Uecker in the Major League movies, and I now roll out the red carpet for actor, musician, entertainer who played Monty the Color Man, Skip Griparis. Skip, welcome.
Hello, Sandy. God, you said my name right. I can't tell you how often it has been butchered.
And what did Bob Uecker call you?
Skip?
He just skipped the last name.
I don't even know if he remembers my last name. You know, he's a busy man.
Well, I wanted to talk with you because as the Hamilton song goes, you were in the room where it happened. You got to sit right next to Bob Uecker for all of the filming for Major League One, and you came back for Major League Two. That is some rarefied air. How many days did you get to spend with Uecker?
Each time it was 3 long days. It was a weekend they would set aside, and the rest of the shooting kind of shut down. And the first movie, which was in old County Stadium, it was June. The weather was awesome. Nobody knew how successful the movie would be. And in the script, I was referred to different things, including Stat Man.
So your character wasn't really fully fleshed out.
No, I really wasn't sure what I was doing.
How did you get the role?
Auditioning in Chicago. They came to Chicago to flesh out the cast. The first day of shooting, I thought, oh, God, this is so great working with Bob. And he was so nice to me. When we had downtime, sometimes they just send us to another empty broadcast booth, and he would relate baseball anecdotes from Bob Uecker, telling me one-on-one baseball anecdotes. I mean, I was in heaven. But I had the director didn't say anything to me the whole first day. And I thought, oh, geez, I must really suck or something. He's just not saying anything. So he comes up to me the second morning. He said, hey, we just watched The Rushes, and you're really funny. And then I just used my instinct, generally to play opposite of Bob's character. He was confident, blustery, and whatever. So I said, well, I don't know how to play dumb. I'll play timid, well-meaning, but a little out of my league. And that seemed to work in contrast with Bob.
Was there ever a moment, some like improv, where you thought, "Oh, I'll get one in," and it didn't go well?
No, I knew my job. I was, as they say in acting, I was the foil. I was the straight man for Bob, and I understood that and welcomed that position there. I was really there to make him look good.
How do you not laugh at some of the things that he said?
It was tough at times, and he created lines on the spot, at least presented it to us. A lot of stuff that he suggested right there wound up in the movie. The one that I can remember that he just came up with was, he's not the best color man in the business for nothing, folks. And that wound up being a big laugh in the movie. I mean, he's ad-libbed like crazy on the radio forever and had to learn dialogue for Belvedere. You know, he's a pro, and he's been on Carson Show and everything, telling baseball anecdotes that I got to hear one-on-one. I was pinching myself at the time, like, this can't be really happening, but it was.
He is Skip Graperis. He played Monty the Color Man in Major League and Major League 2 and got to be right there acting with Bob Uecker. And it was really nice for Skip to spend some time. He lives in Illinois and is an entertainer and a musician and a singer. So he's still entertaining as well. So Skip Graperis, thanks for his time together and sharing those memories of Major League, just one of many entertaining projects that the legendary Bob Uecker was part of. WTMJ's Siding Unlimited talk and text line 855-616-1620. We still welcome your memories all evening long. 414 texted in, I loved it when Bob would talk about planting his cans of beans and whatnot in his garden. It's that Bob Uecker sense of humor. More memories of Bob Uecker with Jared Yuhan, Good Karma Brand's teammate, next on What's on Tap.
The legendary voice of the Brewers, Bob Uecker, has passed away. We remember the life, the legacy, and of course the calls.
Get up! Get up! Get out of here! Go!
Rest in peace to one of the greatest to ever do it. We'll miss you, Bob.
In 1964, we were making strides towards space travel.
Mary Poppins was the #1 movie in theaters.
And the Beatles were taking America by storm.
Which was long before I was born.
Facts. 1964 is also the year it all started for Richland's Tire and Service Centers. 60 years of continuous growth and more happy customers than you can shake a stick at.
Okay, the streamers are a bit overkill. It's just us in the studio.
All right. But it's important to know accomplishments like these aren't possible without a dedicated team. So hats off to them and our founder, my dad, Dick Mitchke, for understanding the importance of customer focus.
Facts. There's no 60 years of anything without you, the customer, which is why our focus will remain on you and only you for years to come.
Thank you from all of us here at Richland's Tire and Service Centers.
Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
It's like being trapped in a cage. And I know, that sounds dramatic, but your breathing triangle problem has got you trapped. And once you're freed, you're going to be able to live the life that you're missing out on. Now, this can simply mean experiencing the true pleasure of breathing freely. It will mean better sleep and more energy. And the worry of this problem any more affecting your life is going to be gone. Because in almost every case, when Advent has solved a breathing triangle problem, it's a one and done. Because we're not in the business of delivering Band-Aids. We want to fix your nasal breathing problem for good. We don't want you to be a lifelong patient. We want you to be our next success story.
Isn't it time you break free from that cage? Take the next step. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
This is What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx.
There it is! Swinging fly ball in the right center. Broxton is there! And they're the champions.
Ford C. Frick Hall of Famer Bob Uecker, the legend who has been calling Milwaukee Brewers games since 1971. And our beloved Bob passed away earlier this morning after a private battle with small cell lung cancer. God bless him. Strong man. Lived to the age of 90. He would have turned 91 next Saturday. And we are spending love, time, and energy paying tribute to Bob Uecker on WTMJ all day today. If you want to catch up, you can text the word Bob to our WTMJ Sighting Unlimited talk and text line 855-616-1620. Text Bob and we'll send you back a link. You can see all the coverage we've done so far and podcasts and catch up on interviews and sharing your memories as well. Use that same number, 855-616-1620. And a lot of blue lights around the city skyline tonight. Those are including the Hone Bridge, blue and yellow. That is all in tribute for Bob Uecker. Got to imagine quite a few people raising a Miller Lite to Uke tonight. Must be in the front row. Chatting with people, my Good Karma Brands teammate Jared Yuhan has been on the sales side of the Brewers Radio Network for about 15 years. And I asked Jared his thoughts on Bob Uecker and his experience working with Uke.
Bob Uecker is an absolute, the best that ever did it, and the best that there ever was. And I put him in the realm of he's the last of the legends. And what I mean by that is there was Jack Buck, Cardinals, there was Ernie Harwell of the Tigers, there was Harry Carey of the Cubs, and of course Vin Scully of the Dodgers. I put him right there with that. Bob Costas is a legend in his own right, but I'm talking about guys who just had one team that they called the play-by-play, and that was him. And my early memories of Bob, I was 11 in 1992, Robin Yount's 3000th hit. I was at home. We didn't have cable television. I was listening to the game, trying to get my cassette recorder to capture the moment live as he was calling that. That was that. My dad and I we love to fish. We aren't hunters, so we'd go out on the boat. We'd plan our fishing nights in the summer around when the Brewers started. There was never music in the boat. It was always Bob. It was Uecker. If the game was on an East Coast and local pitch was 6:30 and we were in the middle of dinner, I'd be like, Dad, game's on. We'd run out to the pier and onto the boat up north. And if the game was a 9 o'clock start, we'd go out fishing at 8:30, coming long after dark at 10:30 or 11, because that's when Bob hit the airwaves. And that was in the 90s, mid-90s. The team was terrible. Didn't matter. So, yeah.
Well, two things about that. Number one, Uke loved fishing. So absolutely right that you should be listening to Bob Uecker's voice while you're fishing.
Yeah, the little crazy story there on how he got, with Usingers. A lot of people have asked how Usingers brats became a thing, and there was, another sausage company that will not be named that they asked to just provide sausages on their boat for their charity fishing tournament and stuff like that on Lake Michigan, and they passed at it, and then they went to Usingers and said, hey, can you guys provide some sausages for the boat, just some hot dogs and stuff like that? And Usingers said, yes. How do we? Yes, of course. And for the next 35 plus years, Usingers has been, Usingers in baseball. It's just not summer without him. I mean, that's Uecker's voice that I can hear saying that. And then it's put on a pretzel bun and topped with some crisp kraut. Next thing you know, you got Cedar Crest ice cream in there, and it's a la mode. And next thing, I'm like, Bob, what's the count? I don't know what's going on in the game. It's nothing but just Usingers and Cedar Crest and everything else. But that's what made Bob the absolute best. He was passionate about our partners, our advertisers, which is what I'm involved with on the sales side of things. But he was the world's greatest entertainer on every night of the week during the summer.
Genuine stories and a genuine storyteller, and preserving that slice of baseball history that evolved so much from the 50s and 60s through today.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, I just said, my earliest memories of him were in 1992, but I mean, he won a World Series ring with the St. Louis Cardinals and in the 60s, and he would tell everybody on the air that, when they at the ring ceremony, they threw his ring out into the field to go get it, and he goes, it was great. In the third inning, when I found it out there, it was awesome. So yeah, just it goes all the way back. he was, drafted by the Braves, and he would jokingly say that, the signing bonus was, $3,000. And his dad said he didn't have that kind of money to put up at the time, because he was joking that he had to pay the Braves $3,000 to go to them, not the other way around. So just story after story, night after night, thousands of games, and not just, my generation, but generations of listeners that were affected by Bob. And I really can't wait for 2025 and just all of the tributes we're going to hear this year on the broadcasts, and just how it's going to be, because if I have all these memories flooding now, on the day that he passed, I just kind of can't wait to just tune in this year and just listen to what's really going to be a remarkably tribute of the year, for a guy that had 2 statues at American Family Field. Hank Aaron, Robin Yount, Bud Selig, we've heard of them. They've got 1 statue. So does Bob. But Bob's got another one inside up in the euchre seats up there. So for a guy who has 2 statues, 1 more than Hank Aaron and Bud Selig, it's pretty impressive.
Very solid point by my Good Karma Brands teammate Jared Yuhan and his memories of Bob Uecker. And at the base of one of those statues, there are some flowers and some Miller Lite beer cans in tribute right outside American Family Field. We'll continue celebrating Bob Uecker till 8 o'clock here on What's on Tap before we get to Brewers Weekly, where the celebration and tributes will continue. And right now, we go to the WTMJ Breaking News Center. Here's Jessica Gatso.
Thanks, Sandy. Saying goodbye to Mr. Baseball. Bob Uecker passed away at his home this morning at the age of 90. Uecker's family confirmed he had been battling small cell lung cancer since early 2023. A truck crash kills a driver in Kenosha. It happened around 6 a.m. this morning near 68th Street and 152nd Avenue. A semi-truck blew through a stop sign and hit a pickup truck, which then crashed and became stuck under the semi's trailer. The 70-year-old pickup truck driver died at the scene. The semi-driver stayed on site and is cooperating with investigation. The battle over LGBTQ rights goes before the state high court. The Wisconsin Supreme Court hears arguments today over whether rejecting a ban on conversion therapy is unconstitutional. This is the practice of converting LGBTQ people to traditional gender expectations using therapy. Conversion therapy has been banned in 20 states and in over a dozen communities across Wisconsin. The Wisconsin Professional Licensing Board for Therapists has labeled conversion therapy as unprofessional conduct in 2023. Taking a look at the roads with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. Mostly clear on the roads this evening, no major incidents and no delays. And here's the WTMJ forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies, a low of 25. On Friday, mostly sunny, windy and mild, a high of 43. On Saturday, mostly sunny, breezy and colder, a high of 18. On Sunday, sunny, breezy, and that bitter cold sets in, a high of 4 with a wind chill of 25 to 15 below zero. On Monday, sunny, breezy, and bitter cold once again, a high of 0, a wind chill of 30 to 15 below zero. Right now in Milwaukee, it's 33 degrees. I'm Jessica Gatso, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:33.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
By now you've probably figured out what's most important to us at Semperfi is our reputation. Building a great character-driven remodeling company is actually quite easy. It's just the first 20 years that are a bit challenging. Great companies are collections of great people, and we have great people. They're the ones that helped us build our reputation, but they only come after you've built something they want to be part of. We don't necessarily have to look for good people. They come to us. And that's what you want when you hire an exterior remodeling company. someone who's going to stand behind their work, and a company that is truly proud of their people. And it's because they do great work. And when you're ready, we'll do great work for you too. This is Brad Younglith with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
Our favorite reason to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler? Free service for life with no fine print. That's right. When you buy your engagement ring or any piece of jewelry at Diamonds Direct, you will never have to pay a dime in the future for sizing, cleaning, or routine maintenance. At Diamonds Direct, there's no gotcha clause, no fine print, no looking for ways to void the warranty. Diamonds Direct, the jeweler you can trust with a no questions asked 100% free lifetime warranty with no strings attached. Come see us to learn more.
Reason number 52 to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler. Only Diamonds Direct gives you a 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Diamonds Direct will give you 110% of your original purchase price toward the new stone. That's 10% more than you paid the first time. Guaranteed appreciation. Who else does this? There's no fine print and no minimum purchase requirement. It's 10% more, period. Buy with confidence. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx is back on WTMJ.
And you know, once you are a member of a World's Championship club, there are numerous money offers. I mean, very lucrative money offers, and I took the one that was best for me from the Rawlings Sporting Goods Company. A tremendous amount of money paid to me, never to be seen in a piece of Rawlings equipment. Anyway, what I want
In true Bob Uecker self-deprecating form, that is a moment from Bob Uecker's monologue when he hosted Saturday Night Live. And to talk about that episode, please welcome my guest from Wasn't That Special? 50 Years of SNL, the podcast, co-host Scott Bertram. Scott, how are you?
Sandy, I'm well. Thanks so much for having me tonight.
And I am assuming that you have seen that episode in its entirety when Bob Uecker hosted. That was a 10th season. That was ages ago.
Yes, the 10th season, 1984. That was the Superstar season with Dick Ebersol the year before Lorne Michaels came back. So Martin Short and Billy Crystal and Christopher Guest and Julia Louis-Dreyfus and others. And Bob Uecker hosted the second show of that season, October 13th of 1984.
Wow. And now when I watched the clip today in preparation for our conversation, it was interesting. I don't think I've ever seen Bob Uecker ever even mildly uncomfortable. And it was just like, wow, he's standing out on stage and it seemed like he was truly performing, not just like, hey, I'm the guy. Like it seemed like it was concentration for him.
Yes, I'm glad you said that because I noticed that too back when we watched that episode. This is not his first rodeo. He'd been on the Tonight Show plenty of times. He'd done a bunch of Miller Lite ads by this point. 1984 was the same year, I believe, as his famous "Looks like I'll be in the front row" ad. So he had done all of that already and still had Major League and Mr. Belvedere to come. But he, for good portions of this episode, seems somewhat subdued and a little uncomfortable at times. And I don't know if that's because he's among these, even at that point, kind of superstar comedic people around him, or it's live television. It's different than shooting a commercial or something like even the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson was on tape, right? So, but you could feel, I think it was important for him to do well on SNL.
I think that's a perfect way to capture it. Yeah, I felt like he really wanted to do well. Like he knew that this was important, that he, just wasn't a walk in the park. So, but you're right. Boy, Carson hundreds of times, and this is still what kind of made him nervous. But, it was funny to go back. Watching one of the sketches, I'll share a little bit. This is a sketch of Bob Uecker playing Billy Crystal's dad. And and Billy Crystal as the son is getting cut from the Little League. Here's a portion of that clip.
Look, your mother and I think it's best and for the team too, if you leave the house.
Where do I go? What do I do?
Well, you're going to be with the Martin family. We've optioned you.
But, Dad, you know what? Maybe it's just a slump. I'm in a slump, Dad.
It's not a slump, Billy. Hey, when you're 8 years old, it could be a slump, okay? You're 12. You've peaked. You've peaked. You've had it.
Oh. And there's Bob Uecker in his bronze satin jacket. So it really is a time capsule to watch a Saturday Night Live from 1984. What else do you know about maybe how he got cast or any other nuggets from that appearance?
Yeah, well, as I mentioned, it's 84, so I would imagine that in part it's because those Miller Lite ads were becoming ubiquitous, and he was becoming well known for those as well around that time. This Uecker episode, again, the second of the season, and he actually, an interesting part of the episode is he is the anchor for what at that point was Weekend Update. So under Dick Ebersol, they tried a number of different things with Weekend Update, and they actually renamed it twice, too. By this point, it was something called Saturday Night News, and for this season 10, they had dropped the idea of having the same anchor every week for Weekend Update or Saturday Night News. So you had someone different each week. So the first episode, Julia Louis-Dreyfus hosted, and the third episode, Jesse Jackson hosted Saturday Night News. And for episode 2, it was the guest host. It was Bob Uecker sort of doing his shtick as he was hosting Weekend Update, or as they called it then, Saturday Night News. So he is one of the few people, and most of them happened that year, who was not an SNL cast member who got the chance to host the Weekend Update, news portion of the program. He did okay. It's not. I'll say this: if you go back and watch, it's not the best episode ever. There's a good open where Martin Short does a Robin Williams impression. Bob Uecker does another sketch where he plays a gullible cop, and Christopher Guest is conning him to say all these things in the Lost and Found are his, and Uecker believes him. He does this thing with Harry Shearer at the end of the night where he does the goodbyes for the show as baseball announcers, so right in his element. So there are portions in there where Uecker sort of pops out. Overall, it's not, the best episode in the world, though.
But it's worth watching just so we can relive that Uecker persona. And I love that you brought up that now we know one more thing, that really only that Bob Uecker lived that rarefied life. Like, he's one of these few people who ever hosted the Weekend Update newscast on Saturday Night Live. I didn't realize that. He always had the jacket for it, though. That's for sure.
Indeed, you could pick him out of a crowd no matter where he was.
Wasn't that special? 50 years of SNL, the podcast, co-host Scott Bertram. And before I let you go, just mention 50 years. You must be getting kind of psyched. 50th anniversary special shows are coming out. A docuseries is out tonight. Yeah. Are you going to start watching it as soon as you hang up?
Out today. So I worked today, unlike my colleague, my co-host, Christian Schneider, who's at home with COVID, actually.
Oh, no.
Christian has watched already a couple of these episodes. The first one is a lot of the audition tapes for SNL's cast members through the years. The second one, he says, is really interesting. It's a look of a week in the life of an SNL writer, and it is just, it comes at you 120 miles an hour all the time, every day of the week. He said the second episode is really good. I am looking forward to digging into those because there's certainly stuff there that we've never seen before.
And as the SNL experts on your podcast, it's fun that even you're learning new things. So, Scott Bertram, I'll circle back with you. We'll have you back on What's on Tap next week or the week after so we can talk about SNL. Wasn't that special? 50 years of SNL podcast co-host Scott Bertram. Thank you for bringing us insights on the one and only time that you hosted SNL.
My pleasure, Sandy. Thanks so much for having me.
You're welcome. Have a good night. And we'll continue our celebration of Bob Uecker with your memories and Dominic Cotroneo, host of Brewers Weekly. He'll be in next on What's on Tap.
Hey, this is WTMJ's Steve Scavini for Heiser Automotive. I love talking about Heiser. Just picked up a 2023 pre-owned with very low mileage Chevy Silverado 1500 LT, beautiful glacier blue. Love it. Looks fantastic. It's on a black cloth interior. Every time I get in this truck, I say, that is amazing. 8-speed automatic transmission. Awesome mileage, MPG for a truck. 24 city. Get this, 29 highway. Towing capacity. Payload is big. All the things you love about Heiser. Here's what I love about Heiser. All the great programs. Whether you're talking a pre-owned or new. Safe and sound program. Right? Vehicle exchange program, right? Love it or exchange it. Valid on new or pre-owned vehicles, which is what I was talking about. Purchase or lease for the comfort of your own home. Roadside assistance for life. All the things you love about Heiser is all the reasons why they say every day and why I always tell people at Heiser Automotive, today's your day.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and switch to the expensive shampoo with amino acids. Sure, you don't know what those are or why you need them, but it sounds very impressive. And if you switch and save hundreds, you can massage it into your scalp every day. Now, if only you can get people to lean toward your head to smell those aminos. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shampoo. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? Hims can help. Get started at hims.com/joy. Through hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Eric Bilstead. As we ring in 2025, are you heading into the new year with the same old joint pain? It's time to make a resolution, to get moving again. No more achy joints for your knees, your hips, shoulders, or your back. You're going to call QC Kinetics in 2025, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine and joint preservation. Got locations in Greenfield and Mequon under the leadership of Medical Director Dr. Ashley Caravelli. Yes, you can revitalize your joints with advanced orthobiologic treatments at QC Kinetics. No steroids, no drugs, no surgery. This is the future of medicine using an array of natural solutions. So many of your neighbors here in Milwaukee are living life again without the constant pain in their joints. Here's what you do. Resolve to get lasting relief in 2025. Call QC Kinetics today, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today. Happy New Year.
Welcome back to What's on Tap on WTMJ.
Big Memorial Day celebrations all around the country. This was always one of my favorite days as a kid growing up. The parades that were organized each and every Memorial Day. You got a flag, you got a little cup of ice cream, and you march for about 25 miles, and then you hope you ended up in the same house you left. That's great.
That is Bob Uecker's sense of humor, and we are going to miss him. The entire city is blue over Bob. The buildings are lit up blue tonight in honor of Bob Uecker, who passed away this morning after a battle with cancer. He has left us with laughter and a legacy of broadcasting and so much history and knowledge and passion for baseball. And more than once today, I have heard baseball's never going to be the same. It's changed forever now that Bob has left the building. You are listening to What's on Tap, sponsored by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world-class. Discover more at visitmilwaukee.org. And I'm glad to welcome into the studio right now the man I'll be passing the baseball bat-shaped baton to in just moments, Dominic Cotroneo. And Dom, you've got a heck of a show lined up, because I can imagine as much as my phone was blowing up with texts,
yeah,
your phone must have just been off the hook as connected to baseball as you are, including your first guest tonight, Bob Costas.
Yeah, I'm very lucky to have Bob willing to come on to the show. One of his great friends obviously passing away today, so thankful for Bob to want to make some time for us here in about 15 minutes. We're going to have a 2-hour Brewers Weekly tonight. We've got Bob lined up. I've got an interview recorded with Tom Hamilton, the Ford C. Frick Award winner, same award that Bob won to go into the Hall of Fame in 2003. Tom's the winner this year. He's from the Cleveland Guardians. He's born and raised in Waterloo. So a little bit of a Wisconsin tie there as somebody who grew up listening to Bob.
Oh, so he had to have listened to Bob.
And then Lane Grindle is going to come on live with us as well. And I know Lane and Jeff have been making their rounds today. And, you know, it's been emotional, to say the least. And you're right. The phone has not stopped buzzing. But it's just a small reminder of how lucky we all were, you know, to be the ones in this market to spend time with Bob as much or as little as he may have had. Everyone has a Bob Uecker story, and I'm just immensely grateful at this point.
And that's what I love. You and I get to have Bob Uecker stories because we've worked in baseball, and that is not unique, actually, because Bob Uecker was a whole lot of people's buddies.
Yeah, but I mean, Bob Uecker was just...
Which is great. He chose to be here in Milwaukee.
He wanted to be here. He loved being here. And he wanted to let you know how much he loved being here. And he wanted to let you know how much he loved talking to you and talking baseball. And it was just a wonderful man that we will dearly, dearly miss heading into this season.
Go into the Siding Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line 855-616-1620. We love sharing stories, and this is part of how our community copes and heals and processes what has happened. And we're going to Joe in Grafton. Joe, you've told producer Matt Yazel you have a Bob Uecker story that Dom and I are going to love. Share with us.
You are surely going to love it. I'll tell you, it was such a pleasure to listen to Uecker. In a 0-0 game in the eighth, he made us laugh in the backyard. He told stories about players. It was great. I have to tell you, my father-in-law passed away at the Brewers' longest game ever, and he was listening to Ueck. And it was the longest game in Brewer history. It was 15 and a half innings. And he passed away, I'm going to say 88 or 89, 1988 or 1989. He passed away, and I know Pa loved to listen to Ueck, and we all did. And he went to heaven with Uecker on his shoulder. Pretty good. And, so...
Aw, thank you for sharing the scent. Exactly. You know it.
And I go down to get a Robin Yount jersey, and I walk into the place where you buy his stuff down there, and some guy says to me, "Hey, Ueck," because Ueck and I almost look alike, or could be twins. And so he and I would bump around in the hallway, and I go, "Hey, Ueck, your hair looks just like mine." He says, "Yeah, mine looks like yours." Anyhow, so my buddy was the chief engineer for WTMJ, Jake Seagraves, back in the day. So I got to work the booth up there with Bob, and it was just a blast. And
that's a special viewing point, Joe. Yeah, not everybody got that viewpoint, so I'm glad that you got to.
Yeah, and then you bump into him in the hallway, and he'd be saying, "Hey, how come you look like me?" And I go, "Well, how could I do?" I said, we could have been brothers. Anyhow, so then...
Two good-looking fellas. Joe, I hate to wrap it up, but I'm glad that you shared, and thank you for giving us some laughter and some smiles. And we send our big love to you and all the rest of the Uecker fans. That is Joe in Grafton. We'll have more with Dom and your memories on WTMJ next.
The legendary voice of the Brewers, Bob Uecker, has passed away. We remember the life, the legacy, and of course the calls.
Get up! Get up! Get out of here! Go!
Rest in peace to one of the greatest to ever do it. We'll miss you, Bob.
I'm Sandy Maxx, and the headlines have been a lot so far in 2025 this year. And reminding you that if you're able, please help people affected by the California wildfires this year. Donate at redcross.org/ESPN to help the Red Cross respond and help people recover.
This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When it comes to my lifestyle and diet, I don't always make the smartest choices.
Touchdown! Woo! Hey, how about another round and some more chips?
But when it comes to taking care of my liver, I do make one very smart choice. Active Liver Tablets from New Nordic. I used to have real issues with my liver, and at my last checkup, my doc was concerned about my numbers. But since adding a once-a-day Active Liver tablet, my gut's better, I feel great, and my doctor's happy. I ask a lot of my liver, so the least I can do to say thanks is a daily dose of Active Liver.
You ask a lot of your liver, so give it the support it needs with Active Liver. You can find Active Liver at Amazon.com, or for a volume discount, visit NewNordicUSA.com. Go to NewNordicUSA.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. New year, new you, New Nordic.
We know what you're thinking, and all we can tell you is to drive careful.
Yep, Wisconsin roads are no joke this time of year, especially when you're driving on old, worn-out tires.
Schedule yourself a tire appointment with Richlands. We carry all sorts of tire brands, including Goodyear, Kelly, Continental, and General, to name a few.
And every tire we install automatically comes with free tire mounting free lifetime tire rotation, free flat tire repairs, and free alignment inspections.
Not to mention free wheel corrosion cleaning, lifetime warranty spin balance, and prorated tire protection.
Let's just say if you're driving around town, especially this time of year on old worn out tires, you're due for tire service.
Courtney's right. And remember, be safe, buckle up, and hey, always make sure you have good tread on your tires because cold, wet, icy roads are no joke. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands, and you're due for service.
Richlands Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richlands.
Deep freeze is here. It's not too late for you to get hot, hot, hot. Fox World Travel has your ticket to paradise with exclusive deals you won't find anywhere else. Save up to $150 on Mexico and Caribbean vacations with Apple Vacations, or get Fox exclusive cruise perks like onboard credits and more with Celebrity Cruises, Holland America, or Princess. Don't miss this limited time to book now and save only at Fox World Travel. Book online or call 866-GO-FOX-GO and mention code radio.
You're listening to What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx on WTMJ.
Here it is. He struck him out swinging, and the Brewers are going to postseason.
Oh, Bob Uecker pumping his fist and getting soaked with champagne and beer. That was living. Oh, my gosh.
What more could you ask for?
Oh, and it was like, what? He would have been 80-something then, and he was bouncing around like a 50-year-old at that postseason celebration.
He got drenched this year at 90.
Oh, I know.
I was right there next to him. I still got some champagne behind my ears, I think. So
well done, you. Dominic Cotroneo is in next with Brewers Weekly with a very special guest to start off the Bob Uecker tribute. You have Bob Costas calling in live.
it's going to be great. I'm honored to call Bob a friend, and he unfortunately had to say goodbye to a friend today. So we'll get his reaction. Tom Hamilton as well, Lane Grindle as well, and some audio sprinkled from the guys that we talked to earlier today, too.
Thanks to everyone who has called in and shared your memories. You still can. The Citing Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line 855-616-1620 still open, and I just want to end with Peggy texted in about 30 years ago. When my son was 5, my husband took him to New York to see the Brewers play the Yankees. They sent a note to the broadcast booth telling them they were there from Waukesha. Bob Uecker said on the air that they were there. I heard it live on the radio and recorded it on a cassette tape.
Cassette tape.
It's those memories that last a lifetime, and it's that simple touch that Bob Uecker made every single one of us feel special if you got to interact with him. And just listening to him, it made you feel special because you felt like he was telling you that story.
Yep. He's in the front row for eternity now, so I'm really happy for him.
You're listening to WTMJ. News is next.
You wake up feeling like you just boxed 12 rounds. Some wake up sweating with